life. What a wonderful world I see.
Most people realize that how you appear to the outside world is very important to your quality of life. There are a lot of studies that look at the impact of deformities and how it impacts children and adults and their ability to function as a member of society. Things like being perceived as less intelligent in school, having a harder time getting a job, having more problems with substance abuse, relationship difficulties. It becomes even more apparent when you go to countries that don't have access to any type of surgical correction. There's a lot of stigmatism. They are considered to be cursed. They're victims of violence. You're taking somebody who's otherwise a fully functional, intelligent individual who's completely been cast aside from society because of a correctable deformity that really has no impact on their ability to contribute. And you're able to give them the ability to do so.
I'm no different from you. I'm a living human being. How could I be different in any way? Yeah, maybe I have a palate, but I take that as a privilege.
The mission of Fresh Start Surgical Gifts is to provide plastic and reconstructive surgery to transform the lives of these children who otherwise wouldn't have a chance to be transformed, to give them a fresh start in life by giving them self-confidence and the ability to go on and be successful.
People really like me for who I am now. I guess people, I think, have changed. Like, they all thought probably at one time that, oh, he has cleft palate, make fun of him. And now it's like, oh, he has cleft palate, hey, let's be his friend and help him.
Surgery weekends happen every 8 weeks approximately, and we have a wonderful partnership with Rady Children's Hospital. It's actually the first of its kind in the entire nation where a nonprofit is partnered with a hospital to provide care for actually kids in the United States first and also kids from outside. The way it works is we have built out a freestanding clinic on the property of Rady Children's Hospital. They use it for billing throughout the week for about 9 different specialties, and then we use it when we have surgery weekend, and we also then are able to use their operating rooms on the weekend.
They come to us with these patients, and in partnership with them, they're our patients. There's no difference between a Fresh Start patient and any other patient we see. Our partnership with Fresh Start allows us to use our facility when it's not quite as busy. Saturday morning, we're able to provide surgery, and if you can imagine, it's completely staffed by volunteers. So volunteers can come in and take care of these kids in our institution, do world-class care. What a perfect combination of forces.
Jonathan has a syndrome. He was born with something called Apert syndrome, which is, in a different country, a sentence to be left out of society entirely, to be ostracized. Fused hands and feet, significant facial abnormalities, and from my standpoint, his issues are both tear ducts that were not formed correctly, as well as eye muscles and orbits that were not formed correctly. These types of surgeries are not performed at this level in foreign countries, so Jonathan really hit the jackpot meeting us at Fresh Start. This is a beautiful, sweet, gorgeous kid. We're gonna fix him up, and he's gonna live a happy, normal life, and he's gonna be good.
Fresh Start provides these services. It's a volunteer-based organization. We do have a small staff that oversees all of that and makes the arrangements for the appointments. We do patient outreach to get patient applications, but we also coordinate all of those volunteers.
Our volunteers include surgeons and anesthesiologists, nurses, nurse practitioners, radiologists, ophthalmologists,
Dermatologists, an orthodontist. We have restorative dentists who open their offices to our clinics.
Hey, hi, Selema, how are you? Good. How's your expander?
We have drivers, translators.
probably about 100 volunteers to get a surgery weekend to happen.
Got a bunch of people doing a lot of good work for these kids at Fresh Start. Here's one of our volunteers now.
Where are you working today?
In the OR.
Ready to go. So we're operating on Genesis today. She's a really, really cute 7-year-old girl. She was born without an ear on the right side, and she's had a couple operations already in another country, and they got infected, and now she's got some scar tissue there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some cartilage from her rib cage and carve it into an ear and put it underneath the skin and begin the process of building an ear for her. How are you doing?
Drama que me la tienes que hacer y que queden bien bonitas como esta. Y si le sale fea, me la arranque y la bote la basura.
She wants her right ear to look like her left one.
Well, that's the plan.
All right? Good?
Yeah.
We try to say no to as few people as possible. We have kids from Africa, we have kids from Asia, we have kids from South America, Mexico, and even places in the United States where they can't get proper care.
Wow. I can't be so sad because I didn't look like African.
Sulema came to us. Her and her family had exhausted all resources. They had gone to many different insurances, and no one would accept them because they said she had a pre-existing condition.
Some people laughing. And it's hard.
When they went to the grocery store, this little girl was looking at her daughter, and she pulled at her mom's pants and said, "Mama, look at the monster." And the mom looked at her daughter, and she said, "I know, she looks like a little monster, doesn't she?" And her daughter, she didn't say nothing. She stayed quiet. She goes in her car seat, and then all of a sudden it's when she asked, "Mom, why did that girl and that mom say I'm a monster? I'm not a monster, I'm a princess."
It's really hard for her because she's starting high school and she wants to look like the other girls. She wants to look pretty, she wants to have a boyfriend, she wants to feel good about herself. Even though she hasn't had any type of surgery, she's so excited to get her braces on. So I just can't imagine when surgery takes place. I'm like, you're gonna be awesome.
We do 6 surgery weekends a year where we do our pre-ops on Thursdays. We get them all prepped for surgery with all their instructions, their paperwork, and then Saturday is their surgery.
But we're gonna make it almost perfect.
We typically do 10 to 15 patients. Sunday is a post-op clinic. That includes evaluations and consultations, speech patients, laser patients. In addition to the surgery weekends, we have orthodontia clinics and we have restorative dental clinics 13 times a year. So we're kept pretty busy.
My name's Adelawit, just say Adele, the shorter way, and I'm from Ethiopia. I had eye cancer when I was little. It was called retinoblastoma, so they removed the left eye, and then I had nothing in there for 7 years. People would stare at me like I was different, and I wanted to be normal. My dad kept searching on the internet.
I have a support page on the Ocularis. He's the man that creates the prosthetic eyes. And I could just relate because I lost my eye as an infant. I found out that my dentist that I had is actually a dentist for Fresh Start. So he started describing the organization, and I thought, bingo, that's perfect.
Today, we're gonna borrow some tissue from the roof of her mouth and sew that into the lower eyelid to expand the surface area of that socket. This is an acrylic eye manufactured and molded to fit her socket, and it fits under the eyelids.
It just feels more and more like she's our daughter. She has 2 homes.
You have a beautiful daughter, so we're going to try to help her any way we can.
Most of these people have no insurance. If they do have insurance, we know that there's quite a few afflictions that are considered cosmetic by insurance companies, and they may not have the ability to pay. And that's where we come in and say, this is really something that could give this kid a fresh start. And then we'll step in and we'll provide that surgery for them. If it's craniofacial, of course, then they'll stay with us for the duration of their care.
Saturday, we were working on a young girl who was missing half her jawbone, her ear, and the soft tissue of half of her face because of a congenital deformity. We were rebuilding the jaw by a technique called distraction osteogenesis. If you stabilize a bone on 2 sides and make a cut in between and gradually move the bone apart, new bone will form. And that way we can rebuild this part of her jaw. So this will not only improve her bite and her appearance, but it'll set the stage for more normal breathing.
You know, as a parent, you always think, what did I do wrong? What happened? But I can tell you, my son is my hero.
The next surgery I will be having is when I'm 18 years old.
There's no giving up. There's no giving up when it comes to your child. And there was time, when I got so many doors shut on my face, they wouldn't take care of him. And I knew the second I got in contact with Fresh Start, our life was gonna change. You just changed their lives. It was amazing. They don't just want to do surgery and move on. They want him to be perfect.
From elementary school to middle school, I'm awesome. I have a lot more friends.
Not being bullied made a huge difference. His self-confidence overwhelms my heart to see that, because now he's given a chance like any other child. And that's all you ever want with your child. That's all you want them to thrive and become great human beings.
Like that.
He's gonna be 14 on Tuesday, and it's funny because we just did a lip surgery, and he's like, yeah, Mom, the girls are gonna check it out and I can kiss them. As long as you don't go too far, I'm totally okay with it. So he's gonna turn into a very good young man. I can't wait to see what he's gonna do.
Most of our patients are outpatients. After surgery, they'll go to a hotel and stay overnight at that hotel. And we have an RN for an overnight caregiver who will go and check on them.
My job is to make sure that the surgeries went well, that there's no excessive bleeding, excessive pain, they're eating, their nausea is under control, any concerns that families may have. And I'm also a host mom, so we're all volunteers.
I'm from Zimbabwe. When I was 9, I picked up a landmine which damaged most of my face. So I have had about 13 surgeries so far.
I know they've shortened his lip a lot. The problem is it's moving only by its cheek. So, over time it may need to, be revised to take some more of that tissue out. Okay. This a big smile?
No, we're going manually day.
Beloved's moved in with us 6 years ago. We all are one family, and I love him like my own son.
It's just as expensive as our own.
More.
Lucio is one of our very first Fresh Start patients.
I have been seeing every person in Fresh Start for all my life, so they are like my family. I think my first surgery was 22 years ago, when I was just 4 months old.
Mom heard that there was going to be a free clinic. Some doctors from the U.S. were going to be going down to Mexico. The line was long, around the building. She ran up to the front of the line, and she had Lucio in her arms, and luckily, Dr. Nigro, our founder, was there. She gave Lucio to Dr. Nigro, and Dr. Nigro took him in.
Till now, I have 22, 23 surgeries in all my life.
Wow, see? He was like that, now he's like this. Man, good on you, man. That's
one of the final surgeries that most of these cleft palate patients need is to surgically reposition their upper jaw. The teeth can meet properly, the patient looks normal, they can function normally, speak, eat normally. And so I did that surgery for him approximately 3 years ago now, and he's doing great.
I feel amazing, very comfortable with my parents. I already feel what a patient feels about every surgery, a kid with a deformity, and not all the doctors can see both parts. So actually, I'm in medical school now. I want to be a medical doctor and maybe be a plastic surgeon to help people like they help me.
Oh my God, that is amazing, man. Oh, wow.
These kids are full of joy. They see life generally as half full, not half empty. You get the appreciation of watching them grow up, so I get a tremendous amount out of those experiences.
Fresh Start is a gift. It's something that's overwhelming for a parent, priceless for a mom.
I'm very cool. I have friends, and I got my girls.
Fresh Start as an organization is set up and run so overwhelmingly efficient and well. The patients, they're right where they need to be, when they need to be. They have it down to a science.
That looks great.
Every other month, that Saturday morning, I wake up and I know that in my small way, the team I join, we get to make a little change in the world and make it a better place.
When Fresh Start came in and told us they were going to help, she turned into a very, very bright star.
They're always smiling when you come in, so you can't help but fall in love and feel privileged to work with them.
I never thought that would happen to me. I always thought I wouldn't have an eye. I always thought I'll be teased for the rest of my life. This was just like magic. And they were like, good people who do magic.
If we could multiply the magic we do here in more places, just imagine the impact we could have on all the children throughout the world.
It's so rewarding to be able to help these kids and to have this in place in our country and not have to fly somewhere else and try and give subpar care. We want to make people better, and we don't have that ability to do that for people that can't pay. Fresh Start gives us the ability to volunteer our time with a whole bunch of other volunteers and a beautiful infrastructure that gets these kids to us, lets us fix them, and do what we love to do.
After I finished med school, I want to have a big family with a lot of kids, and I want all of them to be doctors just like me.
It's a beautiful day. Let the sun